Okay. Not a lot of carbon on this map, so let's look at that first, see if there's anything that's actually usable. I'm not really seeing it, though. Like, this is kind of functional for a scavenger, but very awkward, potentially. This stuff could work. We already have an expansive colony down who's going to be racking up a lot of debt for a fairly mediocre position, so let's see how that goes for him. This is kind of tempting.
Scientific
Yep, somebody else grabbed it up already, which is fine. I am kind of tempted to grab some of this right here still, and I think I could make that work.
Preliminary scans agree this is a great primary location.
Can you tell I don't like waiting to found at all?
You can count on us.
Okay, so Herbert's actually just put down his steel right next to his iron, way out there. We'll see how that goes. It means I am going to go 2 aluminum, 1 iron this time, though. Let's go ahead and sell our aluminum down, get into this steel that I'm going to need. I'm a little bit late to it this time. Should be very easy to tell. So I'm going to guess Skimmy, PB, Blues, but that's just based on the found, and obviously I don't know. We'll just have to find out. He is going to have a little trouble with water. Especially if we can grab up some of this nearby water away from him. That could create a bit of an interesting scenario for him. Come on, just give me this last little bit of steel that I need. Whoa, that was a lot more steel than I needed. I should not have sold down aluminum like that. Let's buy it back up real quick.
With each new citizen,
there you go.
Our domination grows.
I'm going to grab this water, kind of help push him away from this water, just leave it to me kind of thing. Then I'm just going to get some steel mills down. A mutiny is good, but I've already got some debt. I'm a little nervous about going too hard on it, you know. Now, I don't have enough iron to support 3 steel mills, but I'm going to do it anyway because we see extra iron up here, and that may stay that way. Regardless, though, Skimmy Scimitar has made a much better start than he ever has in the past this game, so that's good to see. I would be the one who gets hit by the mutiny, because isn't that just life? Do you see why I hate the black market and why I'm always paranoid? I feel like it's justified. Get that water down. Oh good, a boost right there. Well, we'll see about that.
Expansive colony expanded.
It doesn't have a goon squad for it, and that's for sure. At least that got done. Somebody had to do it. May as well have been me. Make sure these are on auto supply. Thank you. Now I'll just keep trying to push into this glass. Although it is worth noting that he is making glass. So maybe I don't need to completely rush into it right away this time. It's hard. It's a hard call when somebody's actually making glass off 2 furnaces. Because it's 1.5 glass a second, which is certainly more than he needs. He just expanded, so I'll go ahead and buy some now, I suppose. But it's hard to say exactly how much he's going to be filtering into the market and how much he's going to just kind of be leaving to the wayside. I need an expansion so fast. This hurt. This actually hurt quite badly. I would have loved to be able to sell down aluminum to push to that expansion just a bit faster. And so the fact that he got all that aluminum coming in was definitely a big deal. I'm not going to be able to stick in steel indefinitely.
With this new expansion, we have increased
I might even want to improve my iron income in a moment here, but everybody is making steel. I don't know. Should I care about the market? I don't need to improve my iron income, that's for sure now. I'm just going to grab a couple geos again, and then maybe just make that food move. He's in food, but they're pirates again. So hopefully I can still kind of do some amount of controlling this market. Okay, there's that.
Expansive colony expanded.
Pirates. I hate those.
That was a little bit later than I wanted it to be. I should have pushed it just a moment before, like before he started sending, but hopefully we'll be alright. Let's go ahead and get these geos down. All that food is really helping us out quite a bit. Make sure these are auto-supplying. Now, obviously, I don't have a goon squad because of that, but we'll see what we can do anyway. The steel is still staying acceptable despite the ridiculous power price. I can't defend everything, so I have to just decide what's most valuable, assuming I'm going to be attacked. Okay, well, my food got frozen, so I didn't have time to defend that, unfortunately. He is already HQ4 despite getting food stolen from him. That's ridiculous.
The black market is online.
He's in such a fantastic spot right now. It's actually insane. I would love to get out of these, but they're frozen for the time being. I guess I'll just grab this so I have it. Got some more food. That's great. Little nervous about this move in particular. I don't have the water income to support it long term. Maybe it would have been better if they were glass furnaces.
Expansive colony
We'll see what
expanded.
happens. We'll just see what I can do. I did not want to do that, that's for sure. There. And I'm running behind now because EMPs hurt real bad. Is what it comes down to, quite frankly. He got into electrolysis. That's working out great for him so far. I am going to need more water. Not a whole lot more because there is ice available, but I definitely am going to need more water. We're almost to an expansion ourselves. With any luck, we'll get another food steal before long.
Expansion, we have
Expansive
increased
colony
our
expanded.
potential production rates by
All
one.
right,
The
all right.
shareholders will love it.
The black market is online.
Herbert down in that D stock range. I should not have expanded. This dust storm might save his life if he's got certain particular buildings up. Sorry, I'm trying to think of words and they aren't really working or coming to mind all that effectively. I didn't even notice he was dying that hard and fast though. Or I would have gone after this a lot sooner. I shouldn't have upgraded, is what it comes down to. Upgrading was the decision that lost me this game. If I hadn't upgraded, I would have spotted, if I had been paying attention to the fact that Herbert was actually just straight up dead,
We caught a dirty rat trying to break
then I would be in a
our
much better position. At this point, I have to accept the fact that I'm not going to get to kill Herbert and somebody else is. And that's going to be the entire game right there, unfortunately. This basically means that our expansive opponent auto wins the game. This is the case in a free-for-all with imbalanced players, unfortunately. But it is kind of just the reality of the situation. Hit back right up there.
scientific colony expanded.
And I think, well, we'll try and just work with what we've got, I suppose. But we should be completely out of it without any question, in my mind. This dust storm is, of course, wrecking me right now because I'm trying to make water. And I can't make water. There's a surplus in steel. Wonderful. Fine. If that's the way it has to be, that's the way it has to be. I could just try and make more water, I suppose.
Expansive colony expanded.
Really sucks I didn't have the cash to abuse that because I chose to make a transition instead. We'll see what happens. Do I really not have any more food coming in? I do. I just now got a food steal. Just in that moment. It took that long for me to get another one. Did he turn them off? Maybe. I don't think so, though. Now that I've expanded, we'll put down steel mills again. Where is kind of the awkward question. I guess we'll put them up there. And then I guess, I mean, we can try and make a shove into Offworlds, but Offworlds are really bad this game, so maybe instead we just do a couple engineering labs and a patent office. Try and make that work. We've got kind of an awkward building set up here, but I don't see any good way to resolve it at this point. I mean, I can drop this here and then just get power surged and EMP'd through the whole thing, but we can at least maybe defend the tile. We'll see what happens. Okay. Scrapping out of his steel, which is kind of weird. So, that particular time, let's talk about another new player mistake, since we have that opportunity today. This new player mistake that occurred was a case of just founding too early and taking on too much debt. And then he just kind of spiraled out from there. You could see he was generally performing much better this game with the basic iron plus steel starts. That was really, really good. It was kind of awkward to have the steel positioned away from the base in particular. It is vulnerable to things like pirates at that point. However, there was a scientific player to steal from, so it didn't kill him quite. But it was a little bit of an awkward situation, certainly. And the issue that he had, the biggest issue that he had, was still the simple fact that, man, I don't have any carbon. That's actually kind of a problem for me this game. Let's see. We could push into extra water production. Yeah, let's just do that first. And I'm just going to go ahead and put these down anyway. Anyway, so he found it too early. He had too much debt. He couldn't hold on. Is basically what it comes down to, realistically. It's not much beyond that. It's actually that straightforward. Let's grab that first, since I don't have anything that can replace it in any way. This, I would really appreciate it. Okay, there. Now it looks like a chem lab. Make sure we've started auto supply there. Maybe I shouldn't have scrapped out that water. I mean, the chem labs are still doing all right, I guess, but man, the water is ridiculous this game. The water is absolutely insane. There's nothing really to send, unfortunately. Huh. There is a hack going on. I don't have a spy available to check what that is, assuming there is a hack going on. Because that could just be a different building lying to me, quite frankly. We'll upgrade food now, I think. I could have also upgraded chems. Maybe I should do that instead for the moment. That might be the scientist trying to hack something interesting like water or chems, I guess. I could also test it with a nuke, kind of, and see what's going on there. I don't really know. See if he's defending it or not, basically. Unfortunately, virtual reality already got taken. I would love to have that. Teleportation, I don't really care about too much. Maybe we'll head in nanotech next. Food's doing bad. Oh, no, he just sold down. Somebody just sold down a massive amount of water, which is very unfortunate for me. To hop into what? This oxygen shortage is probably what just occurred. They hopped out of the water to get into the oxygen short they had running. They're trying to work off of that to actually play the game out from here. An interesting idea. Actually, there is an off-worldable thing this game, so I'm going to start pressing everything I have into that and hope that other people aren't paying enough attention to understand what's going on. It's probably not going to work, but we'll see what happens nonetheless. Asimov does have a ridiculous amount of money, so he hacked oxygen. And he was just sitting on a massive amount of water. Somebody was sitting on a massive amount of water besides just me, that's for sure. That is absolutely for sure. Try and make that happen. I'm just going to commit into it completely for the time. No, we'll sell out of that. Do that. Well, lets me buy up some of my own stock. Lets me do these other interesting things. Like what? Like thinking machines, potentially? That's probably not the best idea. Do it anyway. I really would have liked virtual reality, frankly. It's kind of what I was aiming for, but it did not happen. I should not have been making steel this entire time. That was a terrible decision, especially now that I have nanotech. Why in the world would I have made that mistake? Clark has way too much money regardless. I should have been attacking him more at this point. I can buy an EMP and hit him here, let's say. Try and make all this work just a bit better. No, not that. That doesn't work right now. Something has to work right now until I can make that work in particular. Just send a steel shipment, I guess. There, go. Get out of this into these. Make this happen. Come on, work with me. Oh, that was terrible timing on that. Shoot. Stop, sell, wait. Asimov's still sitting on an insane amount of money off this hack array that he's really making work for himself. I'm going to get out of these and on into this guy. Hopefully that'll work okay. Now we upgrade, because now the chem price is down after the shortage, and I don't have to worry about it quite so much anymore. I might not get any more of these. It may just be time to scrap this and move into something else. Unfortunately, Asimov is after my stock, wanting to kill me off so that he has a chance. This game is understandable. His hacker array is really working for him. He's done a good job with that. I wasn't expecting it to be quite as effective as it was, but I haven't really been predicting the shorts effectively this entire time, and I should have made the play myself.
Yeah, your stock's getting sold.
I changed his mind, apparently. Alright. Excuse me.
Look at all the money.
Oh, these aren't auto-supplied. Come on, auto-supply. Work with me here. Trying to make something good happen. We'll bid on that, try and extend the time I've got to look at things. Nothing's really good. Things are usable. Still. Things are still kind of awkward. I was hoping to get to the point where I could abuse this. Unfortunately, electronics on World is just too expensive. But it was still kind of an awkward play that I was hoping other people wouldn't make. And we're just going to see how it goes, I guess. I had to live long enough to really abuse it is part of the problem. And that definitely has not happened. Now, I do have carbon scrubbing, but he's already got electronics completely upgraded. Like, that's how much of a lead you get off of buying somebody that early. He didn't have to commit any money into defending himself in stock, because, well, his stock was unassailable. It was just too darn expensive, really. Thank goodness for carbon scrubbing, keeping me a little bit in this game, though. Auto supply there, because I forgot about it again. Alright, now we can upgrade. We can upgrade fuel, I suppose. People are all making chems. Immediately knocked down. I'm actually really surprised that somebody bothered. Maybe Clark. Maybe it had to be Clark. I assume it had to be Clark to bother knocking down my Offworld. That is quite frustrating. Clark picks up teleportation, which is fine.
Offworld shipment launched. Look at all the money.
Okay. What can I make work now? I have to be keeping track of this basically all the time, unfortunately, in order to figure out what's actually profitable until what I want to be profitable is. It's kind of getting there, actually, compared to everything else. Like, that's the sad part. It's actually pushing there very quickly. I could also grab up an adrenaline boost and try and make that work. I'll probably just get hit by an EMP. But you never know. I mean, you never know. Could work. Everything's making money. It's probably just not enough money, unfortunately. Chems are getting surplus. I'll have to keep an eye on those. Maybe scrap out of them very soon. Get back into food. For example, I can go ahead and do that, I guess. Get back into food. Relying on nanotech to kind of stay alive just a little bit. We'll grab one more goon squad. Probably a terrible decision. Should have gotten aggressive if I wanted any chance of actually winning the game. That's kind of an important detail, managing to, you know, win. But whatever. Just going to start those up.
Offworld shipment launched.
See what I can do from here. We'll just sit now. I don't see much else to do besides just sit on what we've got going. Chems are jumping all over the place. You know there's another chem hack on the way, but I'm already too late to really abuse it effectively. Especially because I did go ahead and make that transition on out and into food. Because I wasn't expecting him to just literally sit there and hack chems all day long. But that's exactly what he did. He just sat there and is hacking chems all day long. And it's working relatively well for him. I can't fault him for it. He's doing a good job with it. It was just very, very strange, and I wasn't expecting it, is all. 4 seconds. I'm actually going to hit here. 504 is actually what I require, interestingly enough. Okay. Let's go ahead and get out of these and on into this right here. Should help out with everything I'm doing just a little bit with any luck. Okay. What do we do now? Do I rely on the fact that I might pull off a buy? Yeah, I'm going to do that. And I'm actually just going to buy up a bunch of stuff, like right now, and have it ready to go. I'm going to buy there, there, and there. There you go. Now Kim's just got driven back up a little bit again, so we'll see exactly how that goes down. Okay, how are electronics going for us? Not well. We should really move on out of them. And I'm going to transition here. I'm just going to hop back into steel. And then here, I can kind of keep electronics low-ish and maybe stay on top of things. I'm not really sure. Unfortunately, debt is getting paid off. That happens very rapidly. Far too rapidly. Debt gets paid off far too rapidly. Don't let people do that. Seriously, I'm tired of it. I don't think it should be a thing. I think it needs to be gotten rid of. Absolutely. Needs to be gotten rid of. Let's see. Okay. I think debt needs to be a lot slower to pay down. 100%. 100% debt needs to not get paid down so rapidly. Because it leads to a situation where a player just pushes and pushes and pushes and pushes and pushes, and when they're in trouble, they're just like, lol, pay down debt, ha. It's ridiculous. It's unnecessary. There is a glass hack on the way. That was a giant sell by somebody pushing into the glass hack, probably. We still can't quite push all the way there. We could maybe try and cancel one electronic shipment. Get it? No! See? This is retarded. This should not be in the game. This is ridiculous. There is no way that should be okay. It shouldn't happen. It just shouldn't happen. It's actually that simple. Load that up. Now Clark has managed to live. You should be punished for your debt. You shouldn't be allowed to just hop out of it on a whim because you've managed to make money. You should be forced to hop out of it earlier. Stock prices shift far too rapidly. And that's part of what causes this situation of the early buy to be so strong, is how overpowered debt is in all these situations. Because if he hadn't been able to pay down his debt so rapidly, I might have had an outside shot in this one to bring it back. But as you can see, his stock price, the price just moves constantly. It's ridiculous. It's unacceptable. There you go. GG. Over to Blues. Obviously, that was a hard-fought one. Obviously, our opponent got a nice easy buy early. If PB had laid down and died, if I had been a little bit faster on that little red button, who knows what would have happened.
Manipulation begins shortly.
I wouldn't have had an Offworld advantage because PB Head doesn't have any. We would have stayed even on Offworlds, but at least I would have had something because I would have had patents working in my favor. I had pretty okay territory to work with and a lot of nice special buildings to go with that maybe I could have made it work anyway. But man, debt can't operate like that. It's too much. It's too much. Too easy to hop on out of.
Look at all the money.
Way too easy.
Offworld shipment launched.
And you've seen players abuse that time and time and time and time and time again. It always happens. It's like, it's not this idea of investing, really, that happens. It's just an idea of, I'm going to push and push and push and push and push without thinking about it. And then once my opponent is up at that 90%, that's when I'm going to finally give up some of my money. Because I know it'll save me instantly.
Offworld shipment launched. Look at all the money.
I'm not okay with it. Clark should still fairly easily, aka Blues, should still fairly easily overrun this one at this point. As you can see, he has an insane amount of tech on his side. Look at all this. Look at all this tech going on. So even though prices have gotten real awkward on him, he's going to make it work. If I had gotten a hold of this carbon, I think I had a shot. It was this carbon in particular that I planned on.
Look at all the money.
Somehow Blues is managing to blast through all the carbon he has coming in on those two quarries because he has so many electronics factories down and they're still costing him insane amounts of money because I had carbon scrubbing and he didn't. And that caused him a problem. PB Head's fighting back real hard and Blues is having some trouble keeping up, really, with the way PB Head is kind of throwing money around. You can see he is the reason that carbon is up at that $534 price. And this is the kind of thing you can get away with when you don't have to pay down debt. But I think Blues should still push there. If he was paying a lot of attention, he would have possibly surplused carbon and made that work. PB Head might pull it off. I don't really know. We'll just have to find out. No matter what, I'm kind of angry because I really hate it when the goal line just won't stop moving. And I even tried to make a quick little push there, like a quick little hop on electronics, and it just still didn't work. Interestingly enough, electronics could be turned back on at this point. Blue should have it in just a moment. There's the little red button. PB Head doesn't have any more debt to pay down, and that's going to end it. Can we please, please fix that? Please. Too easy to pay down debt. Too fast. Move stock price too quickly. I think you should be punished long term for having had a large amount of debt. And this is coming from somebody who has a large amount of debt literally all the time. That way somebody can actually see that debt and do something about it, because that debt doesn't actually count for all that much at that phase of the game, because you just pay it down, so you're fine. And it creates those impossible to win scenarios for the 2 players who got behind early and didn't get the easy clean buy. And we fought back. You could tell PB and I fought back, but I was the one who didn't have debt. It was a bit silly. In any case, let's hop out of that one. I don't have any clue why there's a lawnmower outside mowing soaking wet grass, but there is right now, so that's really interesting to see. And I broke it. I broke it. Check that out. I broke it. PB Head Engineering Bays did get nerfed. They are now just straight 25, 50, 75, 100. Whereas before they were 25, 50, 100, 200. Yes, that is correct, PB Head. They got super nerfed because they were super OP. I apparently have to kill the game. I'll leave this for a second in the hopes that Soren is around here somewhere and sees it, because I made this happen. I don't really know how, but it happened. And let's get out of it.